Do we have any changes, Justin, that came about or to the agenda?
No, none to my knowledge. There are some edits to the November 26th meeting minutes from Ron that I haven't implemented.
Okay. Well, perfect. Well,
Just added
Ron.
Allie as well.
Sorry.
Oh, Allie Judkins is online.
Okay, hi, Allie.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Dean's going to be joining this meeting too. Do you want us to hop back on for the 7 o'clock agenda item, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, why don't you then, unless you want to hang out with us, of course, but.
I mean, I would love to. I'm just trying to get some Christmas wrapping done.
Well, Dean's not on yet.
Oh.
When is Dean joining? Do you know?
He was going to hop on because I was just talking to him on the phone. I was like, oh crap, Dean, we got to get on the meeting. Let's go. So he's trying to get on right now.
Okay, because we can move you
just do
up
that,
for
right.
sure.
All right. Either way, however you guys want to do it, don't matter to me.
That's fine. We can do that. But while we're waiting for Dean, Ron, do you want to start?
Sure can. How y'all doing tonight? All right. So the only thing I'm doing is looking at the grants report December and going over those few projects. One of them is getting very active up at Garfield with this side slope, but pretty much everything else is into legal easements, right away, and bidding for the rest of the winter. So most of the construction projects are done except for that Garfield Road and Brook Road. I'm not sure exactly where the house removal is up at North Hyde Park. That's being managed by Steve, but that may be the only other thing that happens this winter other than planning and right away and those kind of technical things.
Yep, I'll talk about it when I get to.
Okay, perfect.
So that's, I think for your own, kind of what's going on, those are the two projects that have some action items out in the field.
Okay.
The other ones, like I said, are including some contract stuff we can talk about regarding VTrans with Stone Shore. The other ones are going to be step by step. So at some point there'll be something to do and then it goes away. And then at some point something else to do and that goes away. So we'll bring those to you as they come up in their normal course of work.
Okay.
VTrans, and this is something that the board for clarity just needs to be aware of. VTrans has a very lengthy list and process to have a person designated as the municipal project manager. And the reason they do that is because they're trying to set up a person within the town that is designated to be the point person, not only for VTrans staff, but also for residents of the select board, town administrators to talk to regarding the project. So it's sort of a system more than one position. In order for Stone Shore to be the MPM, the municipal project manager, VTrans wanted me to pursue an addendum to our current contract. The addendum is an amendment to the current project management position that adds a bunch of policies and procedures required by VTrans. So it's a long way of saying that in order to get reimbursed, you have to check these boxes. And those boxes are in the contract addendum that Chastity would be needing to be authorized to sign. And that comes with some clarity too. In other words, the scope of work of that amended contract extends Stone Shore's project management for VTrans projects to November 30th, 2025, and caps the expenditures at $19,000 and has a little bit, a couple $1,000 for other projects. So what that means is that VTrans is going to review that addendum once the town signs it with Stone Shore and put it into their files. And then when Jennifer or Steve or I send reimbursement requests, they make sure the contract is complete with all these attachments. So that's kind of the nutshell, or just kind of a snapshot of all the work, but it takes a while to put it together. So one of the questions and one of the things that the town needs to consider for the future is the MPM role. In the past, it was always the town administrator, and that review process is pretty simple. It's not a contracted position. It's just part of the job duties of the town employee. So when you have that set up, it's a little bit simpler to do, and you submit that person's time for reimbursement if the grant award includes administration. You can do the contracted with Stone Shore, which is fine. It's just that the contract has to get a little bigger. So I'm just laying it out as you guys think about positions going forward. One of the things to be concerned about is grant management anyway, whether that's a separate town position, whether it's a contracted position, whether it's LCPC, or whether it's the town administrator. There has to be one person that's designated to communicate with these outside agencies. So just something to keep in the back of your heads and minds as you draft things or make decisions. It can't be assume that somebody's going to jump into that. It's a process to be able to do that. Even when Brent applied, when he was here, he still had to submit a lengthy questionnaire about his experience and capacity and how many hours per week that he could afford to manage these state grants. And VTrans had to accept that as adequate. So, it always feels like the state's long arm is reaching into the town functions pretty deep these days. And it doesn't seem to be getting any lighter touch. But just to give you that, why are you looking at a Stone Shore amendment? It's because the state said we had to if we want to seek reimbursement.
Is that portion of it reimbursable?
Yeah.
Which
part is reimbursable? Sorry, you cut out a little bit.
Yeah, the additional amendment, the new.
Yeah, so right. So right now, yeah, if the mic has to be towards you. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, so the immediate need is the rail trail project, and you have a pending reimbursement request for Stone Shore and VHB. So those are the two consultants that were helping that project move forward. The state stopped reimbursing because the Stone Shore contract didn't have these attachments. So that's why we're here today specifically. When you apply for the grants, that's another time to ask that question. Will all the consultant fees be paid, or will some not be paid? And that's where the reimbursed. And then the town decides to either do that in-house or hire out, or try to find other grant resources to pay for the contract administration. So, it's sort of an eyes wide open by the select board to ask questions like Matt just asked, as well as the town administrator to ask, when you apply for new grants, how are we going to pay for this thing? And you have the different components, the construction, the engineering, and the town administrative time. So some grants do not allow it to be reimbursed. FEMA grants allow it. Most VTrans grants will allow it. Not all ACCD grants will allow it. Some of the federal grants will allow it, but you have to include it in your application. So, and same thing with your MERP grants. The MERP grants that y'all just signed, not all of those buildings have administrative time in the budget. just to give you an example, like what you're dealing with right now, there's one building, I think, that had some administrative time covered, or soft costs, they call it in that program. But not all buildings have soft cost, which implies that it's a straight up contractor bill with no oversight, which is never a good idea on a town building. So yes, Matt, but it still comes down to the details and the grant application that was submitted and what the grant program deems eligible. Even if they say it's eligible, sometimes they'll look at what's reasonable. So it's hard to answer that definitively, because they may say that certain things done under a contract were not, reasonable or excessive, and give you a partial award. That's a little bit unusual, but there's no way to guarantee 100% reimbursement in any grant, except if you check all these boxes and make sure you have it in the application, make sure it's mentioned in the award, and make sure you check off all the grant conditions like you're doing tonight with the Stone Shore addendum.
Yeah, I was just making sure. I was more the $19,000 that we're signing on tonight. That is reimbursable through the grant.
Yeah, so the 19,000 is 3 VTrans projects, which I haven't talked to them about the North Hyde Park project, but I have talked to them about the sinkhole project and the rail trail project. So I think North Hyde Park sidewalk River Shore project is the new one, and I could check on that with you. Otherwise, it would have to come out of sidewalk reserve if it's not reimbursed. And it's 20% grant on most of these. 20% local match, if it's eligible. If it's not eligible, it's in the contract. I think at 3,000 or 4,000. I think for that one, you can see the breakdown in the addendum.
So you need a motion for me to sign the addendum?
Yeah,
Right?
so your authorization to sign the addendum to bring it into conformance for reimbursement purposes. And then you have a package, or Steve has a package of those with some highlighted, a cover email saying where the signatures are needed. And then that all goes to VTrans, and then I can very specifically answer Matt's question. The only other option, Matt, to your question is if I get the answer and it says no, then you still would have to assign somebody for the NPM role. Or somebody would have to do it, because they absolutely need a local contact for all these grants.
So I think we got 2 motions here. It's like, but I can't see. This is really small print, Steve.
Oh, that was Justin.
Oh, okay. Justin is really small print. I'm really old.
Pass the book.
Boy, Justin doesn't bring the candy. The print's too small.
I
I'm
know.
getting picky. We need to approve amendment number 2 to the VTrans grant, and there's the number, which increases the project total to 700,000 and the local share from 120,754 to 132,440, with funding from the town sidewalk reserve fund, and to authorize. You have to sign it.
Yep.
To sign, to authorize the chair to sign any necessary related state grants and VHB engineering agreements on behalf of the town.
We're up in the town share by 12,000. Is that what you're saying? The town match?
No. I don't think that's what it's
You
saying.
just said from 120,
Well,
120 to
right, but
132.
Yeah, basically like 12 and change.
But it's the 2
But-
grants,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
as opposed to the 1 grant.
This is why I was asking, because it's that number didn't make sense to me, that if we're not match, if it is match. Why is the town, why are we getting a 12,000 more added? That was in the memo, so I was like.
Yeah, because they bumped it from let's see, 567 to like 603, I think. Yeah, and just some background. the reason why we're jumping on this now is that they're worried about Doge and then clawing back this money. Senator Sanders sent out a notice to people saying, you know, this money's in danger, so you need to allocate it or maybe claw it back. So that's wrong.
This is the town local share by 11,000. I mean, we have the money in our sidewalk fund, right? We went over that last week.
Right.
I just,
And we had already, hadn't we already approved this anyway?
Yeah, I think weren't gonna pull the trigger though, right off.
Oh, okay. This is all. Okay, but now we have to pull the trigger because there could be potential
There's the
loss.
potential that, yeah, we could lose that.
Okay.
But we've kind of budgeted on.
Gotcha.
Funding from- You have the money, it sounds like we're gonna run out of the grant if we don't do it. I guess
We are not get the grant, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the amendment to V-Trans grant CA 73.
Just a second, because she decided.
Oh, she did,
Yeah,
I'll second it.
you can read the next one.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, abstained, okay.
I'll make a motion to approve addendum 1 to Stone Shore grant, add a specific V-Trans contact language. But not to exceed amount of 19,000. And we're hoping that,
An ending date of November 30th.
and we're hoping those will be reimbursable.
Well, they are.
He said he'll let us know, fair enough.
Well, pretty much, right? But we talked about that.
Sounds like there's one that could not be.
Right, but. Okay. Can you read the rest of it, please?
I'm sorry. And contract ending date of November 30th, 2025, and authorize Chastity Fiona to sign on behalf of the town.
Second? I'll second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstained. Okay. Okay,
Thank you for that.
thank you.
So in the future, well, I think because it's sort of in the winter period, that we'll just basically continue with monthly updates of that grant report at your.
That's
with
fine.
yeah, so if anything comes up in between, then Steve and I will talk and figure out what to do with it.
Speaking of that, did CCS mobilize? You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, Ron, I got it. You see the email from the postmaster?
No.
You know, in the past, we've had the courtesy of you letting us know when we're closing the road.
Oops.
Yeah, sorry, I'll let you know next time.
Okay, thank you, Ron.
Always been good. Yeah.
All right, are you guys all set or yeah?
Yeah, you don't have to hang out with us unless you want to.
No, I'll watch it on YouTube like last time. It's a good way to skip right through stuff.
There you go.
All right, well, good seeing y'all. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Okay, Ally and Dean, hello.
Hey,
So why don't you just start?
Dean was gonna take that,
Oh,
but
he's
he
gonna take
probably
it.
doesn't know how to unmute himself.
Okay,
Could Justin unmute him from his end?
I cannot, unfortunately.
Oh, darn it.
oh, there you
Hold
go.
on, I got it, I got
There
it.
we go. All
Yeah.
right, we're good.
Good job.
It was, yeah, so anyway, technical difficulties, yeah. Yep, sorry about that.
Great.
Yeah, so, I think the first thing on our notes to chat about, that we wanted to kind of ask to clarify, was, our on our stipend wise, right now it's set up as $900 for the whole year. As you guys probably know, ACOs are set up as a 24-hour, 24/7 on-call position. And we would like to just go ahead. The last time that any increase has been made to the stipend was back in 2018. So it's been a few years, and I think it would benefit for us to take a look at it and see if it's where it should be, and coming up with an amount that is coming up to a standard of where we are in 2024. That's kind of on our first kind of bit agenda wise, but one other thing that we wanted to just to clarify and understand is, are the ACOs, are we covered by the insurance under the town?
I believe so, because that's one of the
Oh, yeah,
questions.
because they're a town employee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you specifically asked that the Vermont League of Cities and Towns with regards to the kennel. Specifically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know you're covered.
Okay, so we're covered by the town liability insurance and whatnot. Okay. That's what I thought, but I wasn't, we just kind of wanted to make sure of that. And so circling back, about the stipend.
So that's actually, that's gonna be in our budget. We've already,
Okay,
I think Ally had you guys had presented that before for budget reasons.
Yep.
So we are having all our budget meetings in January to kind of go through and approve and figure out all the stipends for everybody.
okay,
So we'll have more information on that next month.
all right, sounds great.
Yep.
Let me just, go ahead. Yeah, well, but just a second, I'd like to add, and as looking through the budget. And you guys are one of the few places that we could potentially increase revenue.
Yep.
And wondering about how the ticket writing and that sort of stuff is going, because I know there are a lot of dogs that aren't licensed in this town. And again, there aren't a lot of places that we have the ability to write tickets or generate any more revenue. So just wondering how that's going and how you guys feel about it, whatever.
Do you want to talk first, Dean, or you want me to?
No, why don't you go ahead?
Okay, so I know we had touched base on this a little bit a couple months ago at one of the meetings, and we, like you guys had sort of asked us that question, and we kind of brought it to your attention as well. As far as ticketing dogs that aren't registered in the town, it's kind of, unless we come across them and notice that they're not registered, how do you want us to proceed with ticketing? Because really it's not like we're going to go door to door, because that was mentioned and I don't know who brought that to the table. But that's not like something we're going to do. I mean, unless you advise that it be done.
I think if you get a complaint and the person's not ticketed, not just picking up dogs, but somebody, you get I don't know, something, and then you find out that dog is not registered, there's your perfect.
Right. So as far as that,
There's something on Front Porch Forum this evening. Somebody up on Cricket Hill has a number of times see two dogs periodically that come wandering through his yard, and they're always together, and they're digging up his yard, and they're trying to get his chickens, and and he's a dog lover, but would somebody please take care of these dogs?
Yep, I literally read that while I jumped on the meeting and snapshotted a photo, and I sent him an email. I was like, hey, if you see them again, please call me and get a better picture, because if you can do that, I can use town resources to track down the owner.
Yeah.
So that person is not one that has called us, so we weren't aware.
But in
So
that
I
case,
can't,
if that dog was a problem and the owner was like next door, I don't know.
right.
would you ticket that next door neighbor if his dog wasn't, their dog wasn't, registered?
Yes, they would get a ticket for being not registered. They would get a ticket for leaving their property. So, running at large. Depending on what they did at the person's property that they were at, that factors in a couple of things. But as far as ticket writing, I think I've ticketed most everybody that I've come in contact with since when something has arisen like this. Especially when dogs are coming into the kennel as strays or and then they get claimed by their owner. The procedure is that they have to register before being picked up. So that is working out quite well. I know as of today, Jen said that we had $150 in ticket revenue. Dean and I actually wrote way more tickets than what that amount is. So there's people that are not coming in to pay them. And that was a question that Dean and I were going to ask, like, how would you like us to follow up with that? Send them all another ticket and increase the amount? Because I don't know if we can do that.
No, because we were gonna follow up to see if we could send them to the Judicial Bureau, right?
Yeah, Jen brought up a really good point that, the any unpaid tickets, especially ones that are stale, we can send to the Judicial Bureau for enforcement. And they have a lot more teeth than, well, actually, we pretty much have no teeth at all.
Right.
So they have some teeth that they can try to collect the money on.
Yeah.
And let's say one thing too about the unlicensed things. I know Krista keeps excellent track of all the licensing. Like after when they're due by I think April 15th, she goes through and looks to see, okay, the people last year who registered their dog and they didn't do it this year. She's going through and calling and saying, do you still have the dog and all that. So Krista does a really good job of trying to follow up with the people who don't register.
Chastity, it's Kim.
Yeah.
So when the dog license deadline comes and goes, I send out late notices 2 or 3 times before we have the select board vote on the unlicensed dog report that gets turned over to the animal control officers. So, we do catch a lot of people from that.
Okay.
After that time frame, Krista sees people out and about with dogs and they happen to come in the office and she'll say, oh, so, hey, how's your dog? And, she'll catch them like that. She's really good at that. Allie was talking earlier about, the house to house thing. So there is something that allows ACOs to do what's called the dog census that has to be approved by the select board. I don't know how they would, go about that. That's something we probably would have to reach out to the Vermont League of Cities and Towns. There is potential risk for, just going and knocking on door to say, hey, is your dog licensed? Or hey, how many dogs do you have? And oh, they're not licensed, you need to license them. So there is something in, I think it's in statute that allows for it. I don't know how to go about doing that. But again, that's a call to the Vermont League of Cities and Towns if the select board really wanted something like that to happen. I put notices in the newspaper for 3 weeks, 4 weeks leading up to the deadline. We put it on Facebook. We put it on Front Porch Forum. We do as much as we possibly can to let people to know you got to license those dogs. So, we're doing what we can.
I think that going door to door, but she catches somebody with a ticket, they tell their neighbors like, oh boy, I got a ticket for my dog. That's how the best word is gonna go around is, oh man, I didn't want a ticket, so.
I think it takes.
Right.
It's,
Yeah.
getting complaints.
Yeah.
But I in no means think that we should be sending Ally and this other guy door to door.
No.
The ACO position is already
No.
enough.
And Ally, didn't we talk about how we needed to kind of update the policy anyway for the procedures for you guys and for ticket writing? Because we don't really have one, really.
Yes. And you guys kind of tabled that for later because we were going to check into it a little bit more. Or someone was going to with VLCT.
Okay. So I'll
And-
follow up on.
Allie, could you give us a report on how many tickets you guys have written? Because then it's been like $150 and you go, hey, what's the matter? But then we
Yeah,
find much more, and obviously the issue is collecting on the tickets, which is a very different issue.
Yeah, I keep all of my ticket books. It's funny, I was just talking to Jen today that I needed to talk to, I think, Steve, because I need more ticket books. Let's see here. Hold on just a second.
Definitely down the road over the collection.
All right.
What's a typical ticket, Ally? $10?
Yeah, so the typical ticket is, you know, a $50 fine, because in our ordinance, it says for first offense, that's what we have to do.
Yep.
If it's a second offense, it goes up from there. But
But-
they have a waiver of 25.
You have the recovery of the waiver fee, which is in lieu of a civil penalty, someone can pay a lesser amount so that it doesn't go all the way to like a civil penalty base. So they have the ability to pay less if they just, you know, if it doesn't have to go that far. And that way they just decline to contest it.
Right. So
So-
just from this one ticket book that I have in the car, it runs from
Yeah.
it runs, let's see, what is that, nine tickets. So each book runs about 9 tickets, and I've used 3 books of tickets, if that tells you anything.
Well, again,
So I've written at
yeah,
least
rough
27.
total on what those are, right? They're $10,
Most of them,
right?
most of them from this one book that I have in front of me is from when you guys issued or you approved the dog warrants for unregistered dogs that Krista had on the list, Krista and Kim. So these were just, you know, $50 max tickets for failure to register your dog in the town. All of these actually in this book are. This is the day that me and Dean went and sat in the town office, and he had a book and I had a book, and we were writing tickets for like 2 hours.
Wow. So it seems to me one of the things that we can do is to write up something, again, is, you know, Kim, as you say, that goes on Front Porch Forum and Facebook and everything, and let folks know if they have tickets and they haven't paid them, that we're getting ready to turn them over to the Judicial Bureau, and therefore their ticket will cost them much more when it goes through that process. So when their $50 ticket turns into what, a $100 ticket?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the bump is.
Right.
Cause they get money on it as well as
Right.
paying us back.
Right.
So,
Yeah, we only get our.
or 50, right?
Right.
Or whatever, yeah.
One other thing too is that with the new statutes, actually, they have the ability to ticket for escaped livestock now.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
That just came up.
Yeah, they just added that.
And is there many dairy farms? I know, like,
We have one.
yeah, in Georgia, there's on the front page forum for Georgia, like twice a day, oh, there's cows out on this road, cows on that road. And it used to be they couldn't do anything, but now, they can ticket. But yeah, I guess there probably won't be much of an impact here.
I don't know, we have 2.
I've called in one before because I almost hit it. Scared me. And I didn't want somebody else to come around the same corner and run into the cow. I mean, that's dangerous.
Yeah, and in the ordinance, the way it stands, it does have the label of domestic animal, and domestic animal is covered by rabbits, cattle, sheep, goats, equines, fallow deer, red deer, reindeer, bison, swine, poultry, and the list goes on. Reptiles, amphibians, ferrets.
My gosh.
And so technically in our ordinance, it does state that we cover all those animals. So if somebody calls and saying their cow is out, you know, then that can be grounds for us to do a violation on someone. But they just added that statewide so that it beefed up, that it specifically talks about farm, or what home-based farm. So if somebody's chickens are getting to the neighbor's, yard, and they were like, well, I got free range chickens. Well, you can't let them free range on your neighbor's property. You can actually ticket them.
Okay, well, it sounds like there's some things we can do to collect on those back tickets and start to.
Yep.
I have a question. Would the Judicial Bureau charge the town of Hyde Park, or would they just charge the
They charge
violator?
them. They charge the ticket for the ticket holder.
Yeah, it doesn't cost us anything to do that.
Dean and I have to be, well, either Dean or I have to be present for those court appearances, correct?
I don't think so.
No, not judicial.
No.
Bureau. No,
No,
Oh, cool. Awesome. Makes my life easier.
The Judicial Bureau, I think, is all run out of White River Junction.
Okay, because at one point I know this was a while ago, this was like last year when Ron was still there, that he had mentioned like if anything had gone to court, you know, like the ACOs have to make an
This
appearance.
isn't a
where they
regular
can-
court, Ally. This is a
Okay,
different. Yeah,
beautiful. Love it.
yeah.
I guess the only other thing that we have is talking about the hours at the kennel for, you know, like when our side is open for pickups.
And the hours currently are what?
We don't really have anything set.
Oh, okay.
They're proposing 8 to 4 winter hours and 8 to 6 summer hours, which I think is more than fine.
I mean,
And
I
that-
talked,
go ahead, Ally, sorry.
oh, I was just gonna say, like, I talked to Chas about a specific situation that had happened at the kennel. And that brought this conversation about, you know, changing the hours because it was a mess. We're just gonna say it was a mess because there's a lot of details. But Betsy and Jason at the kennels also requested that we try to have set hours because there was people showing up at their business like 9, 10 o'clock at night. They had to call Morseville PD. You know, it was a whole thing. So if we could get an approval to change the hours, that would be fantastic.
Just
But-
have, maybe not, just have some set hours, okay?
Yeah, but there also comes, you know, the question of if I say I have Matt's dog and I, you know, I can't get a hold of him until Saturday, but we're not open. What do you do? Is it fair to let Matt wait until Monday and charge him for 2 extra days? Or do we make an exception? I don't know what you guys want to do with that. I've talked with Steve about it. We can't really come up with a concrete thing.
I was gonna say, we can't say that these are the hours and
If somebody calls and you need to make an exception, you make
Right.
an exception.
if it works, right, pick up by appointment or something like that, you know, how sometimes things say that, you know.
So the
Right.
kennels
What's the-
before the takeover, they weren't open 5 days a week, 8 or 7 days a week, or even 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. There were days that they were closed or they were open, you know, a couple hours in the morning or a couple of hours in the afternoon. So I think that you can find that happy medium, you know, whatever it is, because the kennels before the takeover, they weren't open all the time.
That's true.
Yeah,
My
but
dog ended up there for a weekend. You're right, Kim. I forgot about that.
Well, but they.
And I had to
they weren't-
pay.
They weren't, oh, were they, then taking the dogs?
Mhm.
Right, okay.
One thing we might
Yeah.
consider is an after hours and weekend fee
Oh,
that we can just give to these guys.
right.
Yeah,
You
true,
know,
right.
You know, after hours fee on, you know, weekday $20 or on a weekend 25. And it's their time, so. you
They
know,
have to give-
They go, then give them they get the
$20 or whatever. Mhm.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Really like that, yeah.
And that could be at their discretion,
Right.
right? I mean,
On call kind of day or something.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Exactly what it is, right?
Yeah, and if Ally happens to be home and can do it, then great, but. Yeah, so if we did 8 to 4, when, are we calling winter like November through April?
I wanted to follow exactly what is on the town clerk's website for their hours.
Because the other thing is having them be able to go to the town clerk's office and pay all the fees and everything. So that's the other benefit of having those hours.
And in the summer, they're not open till 6, right?
No, just, no, yeah, actually less hours on Friday during the summer.
Yeah, our summer hours start the Friday before the Memorial Weekend and end the Friday after the Labor Day weekend. And it's Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 4, and on Fridays, 8 to 1. And then the winter hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 4.
I
And
think,
on that, if ACOs are copying or reflecting the hours of the town clerk's office, it could be by appointment. So you're not just have to be available all the time, but it's saying you're by appointment between these hours.
well, it is anyway, right?
I mean, just for the clarification to the public, so you don't think that there's absolutely going to be someone there at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday.
Well, no, right, I was asking Ally, they call you anyway to get the dog, right? Is that how that works?
Yes, they have to call me to arrange a time to go there, but this ensures that, they're not arranging a time to meet me at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night.
Right.
That's an absolute no, not happening. You have to wait until the next business day.
And
Yeah.
only Ally and Dean can let them out, Kennel will not release.
Okay.
I do like the option of, if I don't want to hold them through the weekend either. And so if we have some kind of option of there's an extra fee for a release, on the weekends or whatever, then I think that's that's a reasonable thing to do.
Which also would garner more tickets, especially if they're not registered with the town and they can't pay their fees at the office, which means we need to institute something where we can take some sort of payment, whether it's through Square or something at the kennel.
Yeah, we could do like an extra fee off hours, $25 or something like that.
Okay. So are you guys cool with setting that up?
Yeah, so I think I'll kind of write something up that we can, post and we can put it on Facebook, you can put it on your page and stuff, you wanna.
Oh, girl, it's already on my page. I already did that.
You what?
I already put it on the page.
You fool.
I was like, I'm doing this now just so it kind of instills it into people ahead of time, whether the board passes it or not.
So I think what we'll do is we'll vote on changing the hours to follow the town clerk's hours, and then we'll kind of figure out verbiage for the after hours and by appointment stuff that we can put online for you. Does that sound good?
That sounds great. And then figure out if you guys will let us utilize using some sort of credit card processing.
Yeah.
Unless you just want, because I mean, it's 2024, we're almost in 2025. Not many people carry cash anymore. It's usually cards.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Well, and then the other thing is they do pay us cash, and it's like I don't want to be holding cash.
Yeah. Be responsible for it.
Yeah. Nope.
Okay. Okay, so can we have a motion to?
I'll make a motion to set the kennel hours to follow the town clerk's office hours.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. Okay. Cool, and we'll follow up, Ally, on the wording on the wording of the other items, so we can clarify that for you.
Okay, cool. And I just had one more question. Matt, are you satisfied with how everything is going? I know you were on the fence when this all started.
I've elected to keep my opinions.
He's afraid he'll get it if he says what he thinks.
You might.
I appreciate all your hard work. You guys, I get it.
It's a pain.
I'm still skeptical that we'll find enough to cover everything, but
I know. Well, I want to give you guys a quick update too of what happened this past week, so you guys are informed.
I actually have that on my list of.
Oh, you do? Okay.
We
Can I
all
give you
got an email, he sent to us.
Can I give the ending
Those
update?
those were the nightmares that scared me, in the beginning, you know, that I was scared of. But I think you guys are handling it well.
We're doing really good. So I'll let Steve do that update then, and then I just wanted to present you one more idea to think about. Since, you know, we're getting into the budgeting and town meeting type stuff. Steve is aware of this too. I would like to pull funding from one of the resources in the county and put that funding towards Potter's Angels Rescue. Since they are literally saving our butts all the time.
They're definitely a partner.
So what is it? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Yeah, we,
Pull funding from what?
so we do, we give I think it's $1,000 a year to, what is it? What's the,
It's here, okay, so it's in the appropriations?
yeah,
Yes.
and we want to switch that, because that organization actually only takes out of state dogs.
Okay.
Potter's Rescue is Vermont.
It's Vermont, yeah.
I mean, they do take some out of states, but it's only in certain situations where, you know, there's quite a few dogs on a kill list, and they'll bring them up here because they don't obviously believe in that. And they've been very successful with doing that. So, and it helps them.
Yeah, and we can't bring any dogs to this other place, so.
So it's an appropriation now, and we're gonna be looking at.
She's asking to shift it to Potter's
Say
instead.
that one,
Correct, correct.
yes, so that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just, we'll
Budget stuff.
on the budget stuff, but yes, perfect, good idea, Ally.
So just
Yeah,
out
I
of,
mean,
just out of curiosity, the money that goes to the other place has been voter approved.
mhm.
That's,
So like when they first submitted a petition way back whenever, they would have had to have done a petition to get onto as an article onto the warning. And then the voters said, yep, give them this money. And then after that, they were added to the town budget. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying currently they started out as voter approved, which is why they've remained in our budget. So you'd have to figure out how you're going to pull it, for lack of a better term, or change it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Set it up for the next meeting, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Really the driving force behind this request is because just this year they've helped with 7 dogs.
A tremendous amount of help, they're just a great resource. You know, they really bailed us out too on those Franklin dogs, they provided a lot of assistance.
As a select board, you can always decide to put your own article on there for a dollar amount. You know, they wouldn't particularly have to come to us with a petition. You could decide as a board to do it if you wanted to go that route.
Exactly. We'll figure out a way to do it.
That's right.
We'll figure it out.
Okay,
Perfect. Thank you. That's all I got for you.
awesome, thank you
Thanks,
guys, appreciate it.
Have a good night.
You too. Okay, Steven, what you got for us?
Okay, yeah, a lot of
Start the
stuff.
goodies?
Yeah, so one of the first things is, we had 4 dogs surrendered last week. They surrendered them in lieu of basically the sheriff taking the dogs. Ally, immediately, there were 3 of them were big dogs. One was a Great Dane, a Bull Mastiff, and some Corso I've never heard of dog, and then another like a hound mix. But anyway, so they were surrendered. Ally went in. The Great Dane, right to a Great Dane rescue.
Oh.
They went to the kennel, and she got 2 of the other dogs into foster without going to the kennel.
Oh, wow.
So we just had one that ended up going to the kennel. She had it evaluated on Monday by Potter's Angels. passed with flying colors, so we're hoping to get that one adopted or fostered out pretty quick.
Was that what these were in town dogs?
Yep,
Yep.
yeah, all Hyde Park dogs.
Wow.
Yeah, those 3 dogs they were seriously neglected. The Great Dane was in a kennel, about this big. It was, I mean, he had, I forget what she called them, like kennel sores or whatever, because, think bed sores, because he couldn't move inside the kennel. And they were all underweight, and so, yeah, it was a good thing, and this is exactly how I'd hoped the shelter would work, and this was a good week. We got, 4 dogs rescued and taken care of. And again, Potter's Angels has been fantastic. They really, really helped us out. And let's see, on the kennel, yeah, so you really saw the letter for Franklin, so I'm gonna get that money one way or the other.
That's right.
Yes. Johnson has signed,
Oh, great.
and we get the check.
Awesome.
So they're part on that, so we're getting close to
That's 4?
it's 4.
Yeah.
Yep, so we're doing good.
Almost there. Right.
Let's see, and.
Steve, are there 2 other people or 2 other towns that are looking at coming on board?
We have Wolcott and Morristown are on now. And I've been working with some others, but I haven't had a lot of luck. So
Okay.
we're at 4 now. Our goal is to have 6.
Right. I just didn't know if you had any others that were kind of in the pipeline.
No, everybody, the problem is nobody really wants to do it until they need to do it.
Right.
And I think it's gonna take something like Johnson with Hades,
Exactly.
when they realize, okay, we gotta do something.
Yeah.
Okay, when I was talking about the North Hyde Park FEMA project. So I get I've had to basically general contract because I couldn't find somebody to do it all, especially this late in the year. We have to have it done by January 5th.
Okay.
So thanks to Ryan, we're gonna have all cycles do it.
Oh, good.
He gave us, a town-friendly price.
Oh,
He
great.
did really, really good by us. So they're gonna do the demo. One of the things we have to do, we're gonna collapse. You take the house off, you collapse the foundation, and you fill it with dirt. You also have to collapse the septic system,
Right.
which I just had it pumped this morning.
Great.
Monash is going to abandon the wells, the technical term. FEMA said you have to cap it, but I guess in Vermont, you have to fill it.
Gotcha.
So Monash is gonna do that, and it has to be below grade. So they should be doing that soon. I have the village electric is disconnecting the power line, because that's going across the road, so gotta take care of that. And then Al Cycles said they'll have it done before the
Great.
5th deadline,
Great.
and all filled in. But then we're gonna have to figure out something we're also, part of it luckily is we're getting the boundary surveyed. And Larry has encroached quite a bit onto our stuff, so we're gonna have to do something with that, either push it over or whatever, because we have to get all ours,
Right.
for per FEMA, it has to be all
Exactly. Yeah.
upgraded, and we don't have to seed it this year, because it wouldn't take, but we'll have to do that in the spring.
Okay.
Also, one of our engineering firms that we use, Summit Engineering, just got bought by Horizons Engineering. So they're no more, and I think we use Horizons anyway too, but they're gonna be one and the same now. So we're gonna have to do some revised contracts.
Yeah. Because we have lots of stuff in the summer.
That's my stuff.
Does that engineering combination make sense to you? You familiar with them?
I work with Horizons, never with Summit.
Okay.
Okey-dokey. Oh, the welcome signs were still. We gotta figure out who the top dog is for
That,
the,
yeah.
the National Guard, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know, the planning commission did this whole thing for the welcome to North Hyde Park Village signs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so we're gonna do. I think the original plan was to do 3, but now that we have this property on the corner of 100 and
Yeah.
100C. We're gonna put one there and then one at the other, because you'll see it, both ways coming in.
Right,
And it'll be great there because that's where we're gonna have our green
right,
space.
Exactly.
So it makes
No, that'd be
perfect
great.
sense.
Yeah.
And we'll give ourselves permission.
Right.
Yeah, looking northward, I looked at places and the most attractive place I found is actually where the National Guard Armory is.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good place because it's just outside. And I'm hoping, the spirit of government, they'll let us put the sign up. I don't see it being a problem.
Right.
My problem is I just can't find out who the
Who it is, yeah.
the person is
Yeah.
to say, yeah, you can
Keep
do
pushing
that.
it up the line.
Well, if you want to find out, just go ahead and post the sign.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, see the calls. Yeah.
See where we get the fine from.
Yeah, right.
Okay, we still don't have a fiber communications rep, right? Bummer. Hey, Justin, what you got? Want to give us your updates?
Absolutely. And on town office space quotes, no update there. Still trying to find someone.
Yeah, we're holding off on that.
Yeah, so with the municipal plan update at the December meeting, we mostly discussed collaboration with the town and the village. So we're moving forward, we'll be meeting on the first Tuesday of the month. The first part of the meeting will be warned as a joint meeting, and the second part will be warned as a town meeting, like town plan commission meeting. The village wasn't present at a few meetings before that, so they gave an update and their input on the last few chapters. And then moving forward, we'll be working on chapter 8 and 9. So I think there are just 2 chapters left to go. After that, we'll be discussing getting together with individuals in town, specifically different groups like farmers and industrial, to see what businesses, to see what they need from the town and what we can turn their businesses into if they're folding, for lack of a better term. After that, we're also looking into having volunteer gatherings, consolidating some committees, very preliminary discussion on that, but try to consolidate committees, get everyone together, be on the same page, hugs and kisses and all that good stuff. And then in this summer, we'll have the select board hearing and trustees hearing. The select board will need to have 2 hearings. The trustees will need to have 1. That'll be after the village and town planning commission hearings. And then renew by December of 2025. So slowly but surely, we're getting there, getting everyone on the same page and working as a team. On the newsletter, so I don't have that here for you right now, but same concept as it has been for the last few months. People keep signing up, which is great. One person got off the list because they moved to Ohio or Indiana. So they said they loved it while they were here, so yay. I'm wondering if we want to send out the newsletter early, like I should send it out before the holidays, like end of this week, try to make some rounds, or if just send it out after Christmas as usual.
I guess that's if you're gonna have time to do that. What do you think?
Do you have anything any more important that should get there before the holidays?
I'm just thinking the road closure and the
Oh, yes.
project, that might be a good idea maybe to put in the newsletter.
And town clerk, holiday office hours would be good in there.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so yeah, that'd be before. And I can also do a special edition.
Ooh,
that's a good idea.
look at you.
So I'll be in the office Thursday, so talk to everyone, send out an email to you guys too, see what people want to have informed before the holidays, and then if needed, we can have a second newsletter or skip to
Okay.
January.
Yeah, special one sounds like a good idea, because we can just do the highlights. So
Yeah.
that way they'll see just a few
Yeah,
things.
just pay attention to
Yeah,
that.
they'll read them more.
Okay.
Sure.
Cool. Sounds good.
Quick.
And then on to the minutes. So Ron had made some notes about the November 26th minutes. And I did not get those to you, but they're in an email. Some of the notes include the correction on page 2, line 36. The motion for the extension is to November 2025. I think it said November 2024 in the minutes.
Right.
Consider on an edit on page 2, line 40. Consider modifying for context as follows for the USDA bid. Also, we need a bullet as the USDA topic is bulleted to identify new agenda topics. So discussion paragraphs under the bullet do not give the same bullet. So it's like some technical grammar formatting. 1 second. Another one on formatting. A comment about the Franklin situation and noting that we didn't discuss the amount due from Franklin. That wasn't like put into the minutes for clarification. And there's one that I noticed is regarding it's actually on the special meeting on December 9th. I think we're supposed to make 2 motions, but it was made in one. And it said to also motion. So wouldn't that be 2 motions?
Are you talking about
Where are you?
I'm on the December 9th special validation minutes, budget and validation minutes. It's because it says a motion was made by Susan Bartlett pursuant to 17 VSA, et cetera, et cetera. Furthermore, an additional motion was made. So without saying an additional motion, does that mean that there should be 2 motions in there? I'm just wondering.
there was two motions. The way she read it, she made a motion for, and
Right.
I think they were both voted on.
Okay, because the way it was recorded, it was all written and said as one motion, saying furthermore additional motion. But I think if you need 2 motions, you can have that motion, then a second, and then have the next motion and then a second. So I just want to make sure that whatever mess we're trying to clean up, that we're cleaning it up correctly. And I'm not privy to where this came from, but just from reading that.
Yeah, that's why I know it was.
Right, I remember because there was something on the bottom and something.
Right.
Yeah, it was real specific about the additional,
Yeah,
so
I
that,
think we can update those, yeah.
yeah, and the thing I gave Justin, that this, it was done in the first person for Susan to read. And so when I did it for Justin, I did it in third
Right.
person, so that's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
So do we, on that one, would we want to make it a motion to amend the motion to make two different motions?
Well, I think we should probably not vote on those, right? Because we should probably get those changed.
Yeah, and we don't need to approve any minutes today, so we can work on what the minutes need to look like and be. And then have
Yeah.
it prepared for the next meeting for the amended minutes, and then also what needs to be said exactly to have those motions.
I think that would be better.
Yeah.
Cause that was a lot of changes, so.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good to me.
Yeah. Writing on my notes, no. Okay, here's some warrants, guys. Oh, sorry, Justin, are you all set?
Yes.
Okay,
I hadn't read through these minutes, but if you go through November 26 minutes,
yeah, that's the one that needed a whole bunch of changes.
line 35,
Are you listening, Justin? No.
I am, yep.
this is for you.
Oh, for me? What would I do?
What's the difference between what we voted on tonight and what you guys voted on in that meeting?
We had to clarify it, that's why, that's why I was wondering why you were asking so many questions, because I'm like, we already did, it was declared, you needed a clarification.
And we have to make it as an
Addendum to the contract.
His
Okay,
contract.
so you guys made a motion to extend the contract,
Correct.
but he needed to.
He needs this
create an
addendum for
addendum.
V-Trans, correct?
I was,
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
well, I asked questions because I wasn't here for that meeting. so-
Oh, that's right, sorry, that's right. I was like, what? We had a big discussion on
And
it.
so I was absent for these ones, so I'm like,
Okay. I have. Okay. So here's this. Just for your fun reading enjoyment. So I went to the communications meeting. Which was really informative, and I did talk to Roger about the towers. And he's already been working on that, which I assumed, but they presented us with a budget. However, it was at 6.06%. So let's see what towns were there. It was Cambridge, Woolpit, and myself were the only towns that, in Hyde Park, were the only towns that were there from the whole group. Stowe had a select board meeting that night, so they couldn't attend, but they said they didn't want anything higher than 3. Cause they pay a big portion of that. They're like 70% of the budget that they pay
Yeah.
versus what we pay.
Yeah.
So just so you know, the communications is the dispatch. So, so we all asked, so Roger was going to go back to the table, to redo the budget and try to find some money. So this is the original budget, if you guys want to look at it, but it's gonna be changed. But other than that, it was pretty good. So that's the update on that, and then it's Jen on, Jen's not, so. I mean, we did just have a budget meeting, so there's really not much more to. Really to advise on that. We're definitely not finalizing the budget tonight, so. We won't have to worry about that. Let's look through Jen's motions. And if we could. Make those and discuss those.
I'll hit the first one.
Questions?
I'll make a motion to increase the upgrades to the security harbor project by a value of $114.
Okay, do I have
I'll
a
second
second?
that.
Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, abstain.
Hey, so just so you know, I never got the finance memo this month, so I'm riding blind here.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you're able to send it to me, via email or forward it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
so
on
she's
her
got
desk.
the motions on it, right?
Yeah, she did send it by email, didn't she?
Oh, did she? Oh. Okay.
Do you want to just get it on Thursday, or do you want it before then?
Yeah, I can get it Thursday, and if
Okay.
you're just quoting the motions, then yeah.
Okay, she's got it really nicely laid out
Right.
as always, so.
Okay.
We'll try to be clear for you for the recording. Okay, so Hyde Park. Motion to obligate. Was that,
This is the same tool that North Hyde Park we bought.
right, but where's that money? Was that unspent from his fire department request originally? Is that what that means?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
That's, yeah,
Well, I think if that was the case, then I wouldn't need a motion. So I don't think so. I think this is unspent money.
I thought we had 7 grand.
Because if we were already
I
down.
think it's money that didn't, some of money that didn't get used from other projects.
Ah,
It's a new line item.
yeah, it is a new line item, yep.
That's why I don't think he wouldn't need a motion. Yeah.
Yeah, because we still have 86 left to obligate. Okay, so yes, so
Perfect.
So we
Okay.
do this and we still got 86?
correct.
I will make a motion to obligate $9,080 for the purchase of the Hyde Park Fire Department. Telescoping RAM tool.
Okay, so a second.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. Okay. No need, okay. Okay, so reallocations of the ARPA. Okay, let's make sure we understand that. We obligate the unspent.
I struggle with this. We did 16 grand, right?
For road signs? We talked about it so many different times, I'm not sure where we
Yeah,
ended
right.
up. I know that they've all been ordered and they're all up at the shop. I do know that.
Everything's paid for.
Speed limit road
So,
sign. obligated-
Jen and I just talked about this, I think yesterday. And yes, I guess 16,000 was approved and from what I understand, she said everything's been ordered and everything's been paid for now,
Yeah.
or maybe paid for as part of your warrants tonight. And so there's unspent money to be re-obligated.
Okay. We're taking that back.
I just want to
Okay.
make sure that Mark has really got all the speed.
He did, he
He
picked
did.
them up and they're just like last
But this is
Thursday or
everything.
Friday, everything. And all he's waiting for is the ordinances and the policies to be updated, then they can put the signs up.
Okay.
Wow.
I know. It's only taken 3 years. Well, we're still not there yet, but we're getting closer.
I'll make a motion to deobligate the unspent ARPA funds, so total of $8,233.
Hey, second. Sorry.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Okay.
It's interesting words.
I know, it is a weird word. She's really good at keep making sure we're doing this correctly. though.
Yeah.
Wowzer, she's keeping us in line.
She was on because I'd asked why. I don't know, if we have $8,000 left, why we can't just put it in the. We have to use it by a week and a half, right, or?
We have to obligate.
I mean, yeah, sorry.
Or whatever, yeah.
So basically, we just deobligated 8,000, then we're putting it back into pretty much 8,600 is going to this fire truck purchase.
No, that's what we have left to obligate still.
No, yeah, we still have 8,000.
649, like on this, right, left to obligate.
Yeah, but so that's what she has on the next line item.
Oh,
She said
sorry.
To make it whole. We're going from the $200,000 towards the cost of the capital asset for the truck.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you're
Right.
right, I see.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I've read that multiple times and didn't.
Yeah, that's not where I got it too, okay.
I'm not the finance guy, just saying.
No, good job.
Yeah, that's the exact match right there. Whew.
Oh, cool, okay. So
That was
two-
why I thought what we should do, so that's great.
perfect. Okay,
Well, that's what
so
you thought to do, make the motion.
I'm
I was
gonna
gonna
I make
say,
the motion for Chassie to sign the invoice for the international truck for a total of $296,384 with the ARPA obligation of $208,649.31.
some second,
I'll second that.
perfect, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, okay, signing this bad boy.
That's right.
Okay. Bond application, okay, this is, is there a button? So we need a motion for him to sign the bond application. For our lovely fire truck.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Maybe so, to sign the bond, I had to have Kim sign the bond application.
I'll make the motion to approve Kim Moulton to sign the bond application for the purchase of the new Hyde Park fire truck engine tube in the amount of $325,000.
Perfect, second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Okay,
This one, I just had a question, and this
Sure.
the question is definitely gonna be for Kim.
yeah,
Do we have to close out the bank account before December 31st? Or is this? You're unable to
Kim, can you
access
hear
these
Matt?
funds online without fees.
Sorry, I can hear him, but I don't know what he's talking about, because I don't have Jen's
Sorry.
paperwork.
So
okay,
the next item is the cemetery bank accounts, and the request is to close the bank accounts.
So yes, so they have 2 or 3 accounts and they're all at TD Bank. And we want to close those accounts and bring them into the general fund. She has created a separate fund for the cemetery bills and that kind of stuff. But we want to close those accounts and bring that money in-house. It would earn more interest in our accounts because we have a higher rate of interest earning because of our insured cash sweep account. And right now they're earning literally peanuts over there. So it's really to bring all the funds in-house, kind of like all of the other special funds are. Like the library funds are now part of our general fund.
So you're gonna reconcile that account essentially?
Well, because of separation of duties, because I signed the checks, I don't reconcile the accounts.
Right.
Jen we will close the accounts before the end of the month and then deposit the funds into the Union Bank where we have our general fund money. But yes, then those statements would be reconciled and closed, and then going forward, all of the cemetery funds are in our general fund.
we took those, Jen took that over a little while, well, when
We-
they all stepped down, right? We had.
Well, yeah, we still have 3 people on board, but we took over the funds as of July 1st. So right now, whenever we pay a cemetery bill, we pay the bill from our general fund, have to write a check from the cemetery account to deposit to the general fund to cover the check we just wrote.
This is making it easier.
Yes.
And cleaner.
Yep.
See, okay, so can we have a motion to have Kim close the cemetery bank accounts held at TD Bank?
I'll make a motion to allow Kim Moulton to close the cemetery bank account currently held at TD Bank before or on December 31st, 2024.
Second.
A second.
Perfect, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. And opposed, abstains.
You didn't say what you had to do.
Okay. Oh, right. Should we clarify that that's getting moved to the general fund? Kim?
Yes, please.
I was
The
gonna say,
gen-
that's a good
The
point.
general, yes, the
Yeah,
general
let's-
fund at Union Bank.
Yes, okay, so let's add that to
As
that,
amended.
as amended, yes, that is.
We're going to
go-
Kim's birthday party.
Right.
No. Kim doesn't want to go to jail.
Okay, so yeah, so that money will go to the general fund. Bank account at the Union Bank. Okay, sorry about that, Kim. Okay, yeah, oh, town warrants, okay, we haven't looked at them yet.
So Chastity, there was those 2 invoices that you needed to look at and sign. One because it was over the 20,000 and the other one was that CF Medical, the sheriff department thing.
Yes, once she sent me in an email.
Yeah, so I think, does she have tabs on those two invoices to have you sign them?
Yep,
Okay,
sure does.
perfect.
Okay, there's that one. Except there's one more. I think I missed one in that one. Okay, so we'll hold off on the one so you guys have looked at them all.
How close did the paving come into where we, I know we were by the ton, but did we look at that?
Jen would have said something.
Okay,
Like, she totally would have.
yeah, no,
We'll have to ask her.
I just wanted, to yeah, roughly where that,
I wonder.
The sheriff's department.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Jen, Matt, because that's a good question. It had to have been close,
right
because she,
here, yep,
did she write something on there?
no,
Oh.
it was on there, a follow-up. Sorry. Select board discussed funding in there is approximately 315,000 paving reserve. I feel like I thought we were in like the 285, that's why in my head I have that number. I see it's at 305, so I was thinking that came in higher than we were expecting, but. Remember we had that special meeting and
I do.
the number was like 285 or 283 or something like that. But
With the thing that Justin was talking about, so Susan said, therefore I make a motion pursuant to 17 VSA section 2662 to resolve and ratify the election of all the town officials by Australian ballot at the 2023 and 2024 town meetings. Furthermore, I make a motion, it says furthermore, so it carries that motion forward. I motion to ratify all boards and committees that were created by appointment of the select board and the actions of boards and committees. I don't think there had to have been two different.
No,
It was one
because they
motion.
really are quite attached.
Yeah, and the furthermore, and you didn't say I make motion, so it's the same motion, so I think.
Okay. We're good.
Okay, so I want to clarify that the description of our voting change at town meeting and the floor and the ballot, because we kind of went a little bit back and forth on that at the last meetings, at the special meeting, so I just want to make sure that we have that clarified for taxpayers. So Kim, help me out on this because I don't want to make it more complicated. We will be voting by ballot to change to vote whether or not everybody's gonna be from the floor, everybody's gonna be from ballot for next year's 2026 town meeting.
There will be a warning and it sounds like you want all three of these things on the warning. There will not be an Australian ballot because it hasn't yet been voted and approved by the voters.
Okay.
At our 2025 town meeting, we
Yeah.
will have for voting of officers, there will be an article to vote all of the officers from the floor.
Okay.
Select board, well, not all. So what I mean by that is anybody whose term is expiring. So select board, listers, moderator, town clerk, town treasurer, school board, the solid waste supervisor. I think I got them. Oh, the library, the cemetery, and I think I got them all. So
Okay.
everybody who has a term expiring will be voted from the floor by nomination, and then further articles down the warning will ask voters to approve voting all officers by Australian ballot starting March of 26. And it sounded like you wanted the other two articles, if I remember the meeting correctly, a warning article for the budget to be by Australian ballot.
Yep.
And then the third one was voting all other articles, we always have an article for the tax due dates, creating funds, all those other articles, all of those also by ballot, Australian ballot.
Yes, that's what you guys wanted, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
So yes, there will be no Australian ballot at the 2025 town meeting.
Okay,
Everything will be from the floor.
okay,
So no petitions required because everything's by nomination from the floor.
okay. So,
Kim, all the way back at the beginning, there's something about the way you said it. It's, let's see. It doesn't have. Let's see, here's, I'm trying to formulate it, get this question out the right way. It's the select board positions that are open, not the people. So the wording needs to be that it's the select board positions that are
Correct.
open this year.
Correct.
Voted from the floor. It doesn't have
Correct.
anything to do with your terms up or anything else. That just select board positions that are open this year will be voted from the floor.
Correct. So whoever's term is expiring in September, in March, which I think is Matt, I see his hand raised. And I don't, Susan, is yours up?
Yeah, mine's expiring.
Okay, so I don't know if there's anybody else, but at minimum, there will be 2 select board members for a term of 2 years.
Right.
Nobody's names appear on the article. It's
Right.
literally that, same as we've done for the town clerk and treasurer in the past.
Right.
So it'll be that way.
okay. Perfect.
Love it.
Okay, I just wanted I wanted that to be clarified and,
Yeah,
cause it's,
yeah.
people are asking
Those
questions
people.
and calling me about it, and I was like, I'm gonna make it.
So what happens when 2 people or 3 people, so someone says I nominate for, and then it goes by call of sound from the floor?
No, then you do paper.
Yeah, so people ask for paper ballot.
Mhm.
Yes. So we have little slips of paper. Somebody calls for a paper ballot, as long as there's 7 people that want to do that, which there would be. Then they write the name of the person that they want to vote for. We have a little ballot box that they put it in the little ballot box up at the front of the auditorium. And then the BCA people who are on hand at the meeting, we go through and we separate out the ballots, count up however many for each person, and then let the moderator know. And that's how they determine who wins. If there is a tie, then they have to vote again until there is a winner.
That happens a lot. You haven't ever had ballots there?
Hasn't happened the last 2 years.
Oh, next few years, I don't know.
This wasn't anything exciting.
Exactly.
That might be different this year.
Well, or they were things that were Australian ballot.
Oh, true.
See, that was the difference.
True.
Okay, I was thinking like the Minash.
I have a question. Maybe for Kim, but so with those 3 articles having all elected officials by Australian ballot, budget by ballot, and there's something else by ballot, would there be anything to be like, would it be an in-person town meeting if all those were approved?
No.
Okay. So it'd be kind of like a primary or general election. You'd have polls open, people would come in. That's kind of that.
Correct.
Information.
Okay. An informational meeting.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We still have an informational, right?
Absolutely.
You have your town meeting and that's where people would get all their information and then they can vote after. If people beforehand, or again, like people that aren't in town, they can ask for their ballot beforehand and they can vote, but people want to come and talk at town meeting and get all the information and then vote, they can do that.
Well, we talked about changing that too, when people can come.
Yeah, but that's another whole
Right.
changing when you're having town meeting.
Right. So. We'll see what the votes say, because we really can't decide anything until the voters make the decision.
Right.
I mean, that's all
We
up
thought
in
they
the
were gonna go
air.
back to the high school, to the elementary school. Well, they didn't. They were gonna just stay at the high
Yeah.
school. There you go.
So,
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you for that, Kim.
You're welcome.
Okay, land use regulations hearing day?
I don't remember that one.
It's for the bylaws,
Justin?
Yeah, recommending that we have that hearing on January 28th. So we need to physically post and warn the hearing. I don't recall if it's 15 or 30 days. I think it's 15. But we need to give 15 days notice for the public hearing. And then the select board can approve the land use regulations if there aren't any changes from the public or from the board.
Oh, okay, so you need a motion to set the date for January 28th for that?
Yes, please.
Okay, see. Um. I'll make a motion to.
Set the hearing date.
Set the hearing, yeah, set the hearing date, land use regulations for January 25th, or 28th, 2025.
Perfect, second?
Second.
Okay, opposed, opposed, abstained. Okay, perfect.
So Chastity, just real quick, Jen and I were looking at the calendar and potentially the 28th would be a day that, if it hasn't already been done, that we would have a select board meeting to, finalize the warning finalize the budget, but also finalize the warning and have the select board, sign the final warning. So just kind of keep that date in mind.
So Justin, what time would this meeting be? The hearing?
Yeah, it could be corresponding at the same time with the select board meeting. So you would open the hearing, hold the hearing, and then close the hearing all within the select board. So you can say 5:30 right off the bat, and then by 6 o'clock you're done with it.
Okay.
And when nobody shows up and it takes my time.
Cause we didn't have,
We've done these before.
we didn't have a date. We didn't have a meeting scheduled for that date yet, right? We were the 20.
It's on my calendar.
Oh, it
The
is?
20. Yeah, we have
Didn't have it.
second and fourth Tuesdays starting in January. So that's basically just January and February,
Wow.
and then we'll see what happens
I'm the one that
afterwards.
sent that out, telling you guys all the dates, and I didn't even put it in my calendar.
Yeah, look at how busy all those lines are.
Yeah.
If it's not in here, it ain't happening.
That's right. Okay, perfect. Okay, so do you guys have any things we want to discuss? Where we have our executive sessions? Any other items that have come up? Complaints, thoughts, dreams, hopes? Christmas wishes? Okay, so. Let's see, just looking at new and old business, I think we're good on all that. First executive. Why do we have 3? Forgetting why we did 3.
one was for,
Evaluations, employment negotiations.
One was for negotiations,
for the,
contract.
the contract.
One was for me, that one I wanted, but I can't remember the other
Oh,
one.
and wasn't, yeah. I guess we should. To use that, no.
Oh, right, and that's right,
Yes,
but we talked about it, right?
yeah,
So I think we're
we
good.
kind of covered that.
We did cover that, okay, that was the other one, okay.
We need a motion to go into executive.
So hang on, so.
Yeah, so we want to remove the 721, I believe, right?
Right, correct. Yep, so we don't need that one.
And then, so the next one was for for you,
Right.
Chas, the one you
Yep.
requested. And
Yep.
then the 740, that one's going to require 2 motions. On the first one, for the 725, whenever you guys are ready for that one.
We'll need 2 motions?
Yeah, what do you need 2 motions for?
Oh, yep. So on negotiations, a motion recognizing that premature general public knowledge would clearly place a public body or person involved at a substantial disadvantage. So it's acknowledging that the select board agrees that this is statutory reason to go into executive session, and then a motion to go into executive session for the contracts.
We're making this way too hard.
I know
We're making this way too
he
hard.
confuses me,
Yeah.
but okay.
Yeah.
But we're
It's
following
actually
along.
statute.
So we're gonna go in for this one, and then we'll come back out and go back in for negotiations.
Correct.
Even though they're the same number?
Yep, the different reasons, different topics.
Got it. Okay. So do you wanna make a motion for this one?
Okay, I make a motion, we go into executive session for. Did you,
The number,
Yeah.
number 9, yeah.
yeah, BSA 313 employment.
Yep.
And should that be just the board?
Yep.
Okay.
And
And
Steve,
Steve and the
Yeah.
administrator, okay.
yeah, and the administrator, yeah. Please.
Yeah, second, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I came out when I was all confused. Okay, yep, I second.
Okay, so,
Good night.
okay, night, Kim.
Good night.
Thanks, Kim. Come out of executive session.
Okay, second,
Second.
okay. And.
All in favor.
Oh, sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, sorry.
Okay, now, let's see, I move we approve the warrants.
I will second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, anybody? No, we're all here, so cool. Okay, so we approve the warrants for you. Okay,
Okay. Now I'll move, we go back into executive session for contracts. BSA 313.
perfect.
You need another motion now?
Yeah.
We have to go into the.
To go back into executive session.
No,
Yes.
but you needed a dual motion, right?
Yes, thank you. So in that one, move that the board finds under 1 VSA 313 that premature general public information would clearly place a public body or a person involved at substantial disadvantage. So if
What?
everyone agrees, you can make that motion in second.
I don't, what did you just say?
Because we're going in for negotiations.
Yeah, so does the select board think and agree that if the public knew about what you're talking about in negotiations, that someone or something would be put at a disadvantage?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that's basically that motion. Want to make that motion and second it.
Okay, so second on that.
I will second.
Okay. All those in favor?
I.
Opposed, abstained, okay.
And then the actual motion to go into it.
Now you can make the motion.
Okay, I move that we go into executive session for contract VSA 313, contract negotiations.
I will second that.
Okay, perfect. Okay,
And with Stephen?
yes.
Perfect. I'll put us out of here, then I will await your text again.
Okay, thank you,
Thanks.
Justin.
Thank you, Justin.
We go out of executive session.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained?
Not going to adjourn?
I think we just say that,
Negotiations are.
yes, Stephen will follow up
Yeah.
with
Okay,
the negotiations. Okay. And yeah,
and now we can adjourn.
now we can adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, 8 o'clock. All right,
Good job, nice job. Everybody doing wild things for holidays?